Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ MV, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got some special guests in the building.
Come on, you gotta do better than that. There you go. Come on now. Come on. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now.
Kadeem,
Turn it up.
Hardison, and Jasmine Guy.
Hey.
I gotta start like this.
Okay.
This is a fun fact.
Okay.
The reason I went to Hampton University was because of me watching A Different World.
Wow.
How many times do y'all hear that?
At least half a dozen a week.
Word.
Did you graduate?
I sure did. I sure did.
You can go.
Ask him how many years it took.
5 years. That's all right.
That's okay,
That's all
baby.
right.
I'm proud of you.
Persistence overcomes resistance.
My first celebrity picture I ever took was with Kadeem Hardison.
Wow.
I'm gonna post it tomorrow. We were in the airport, and you had the flip up glasses and everything.
What?
Yep, me and my mom took a picture in the airport.
Sound like me.
How old were you?
You sure it was me?
I'm 100%, 1,000%.
How old were you?
I was young. We was coming back from Florida. You were
He
in the
must have
airport.
just gotten a job
Word
because
up.
they wasn't
'Cause
wearing
I
them
wasn't
flip
wearing them
glasses
joints
in
out in
person.
person.
Oh, you didn't wear him in real life?
Not in real
Oh,
life.
no, matter of fact, they weren't the flip. They were just round.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, that makes more
They were
sense.
just
Yeah.
round glasses. I'm gonna
makes
post a
sense.
picture tomorrow. My
Do
mom, I
that.
told my mom, I said, Mom, you remember? I remember.
You sure that wasn't Jazzy Jeff, man?
No. My mom was like, you were so scared to walk over to him at the time. My mom gonna send me the picture. I'm gonna post it tomorrow.
That's
Welcome,
awesome.
guys.
Thank you,
Yes.
thank you.
Welcome.
Glad to be here.
I know this might be an odd question, but do y'all know what y'all mean to just people,
The
to us?
culture.
It's
Black
It's
people.
becoming more and more apparent as we get older.
Yeah.
Like at first, no. In 1996, when we were done, and probably the next 10 years, not as much. But then, after 20 years, and you think that's dead. And you go somewhere and you see somebody and their eyes jump out of their head and they almost like the king of Zamunda. They go, oh my baby, they get down.
That's right.
And they're like, wow, it's you. I wanted to be an engineer because of you. I went to Hampton. I wanted to go to Hillman. I was trying to find out where this school was. So it's becoming clearer and clearer as we get older. But no, at the time.
It's very moving to me now.
Yeah.
But at the time, both of us were, we were from New York. We used to hustling. We had just done school days. We were kind of like, okay, now what? Now what? Now what? And I don't know that we knew how the show was resonating with our people because I wasn't around my people.
Right.
I was in L.A., and I went from Melrose to the Valley and back to Melrose, and the only people I hung out with were them.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know the impact. I didn't know
So
what
I
HBCU
wasn't
was.
hearing it.
Yeah.
I wasn't seeing it. And coming from theater, you know when you
Hit.
when you land, when you are having a communication. And what has been amazing to me is that, we were always trying to make things better. Make things more believable, have more depth or content. So we weren't really looking at what was landing. I wasn't,
Right.
because when we talked, actor to actor, Kadeem and I really worked hard on that relationship. Because if you look at the first season and the second season, I was like, I don't know why Whitley would like Dwayne based on what I was older.
So far.
I was upperclassman to him. He was, they had him playing the goofy guy, and now she's dreaming about him. I would have been dreaming about some seniors. Or a teacher or two that I would like to cast.
Well, how much input did you both have in some of the topics and themes that were on A Different World? Because you guys did cover a lot of real life things that you didn't see anywhere else.
They pretty much, Debbie came and she had a plan. But do you remember that she made us write our, what we saw ourselves in 5 years or something like that? We had homework.
Yeah, we had
Debbie would come
homework.
and give you homework. And we had to all go home and just write up a page or two of what we saw ourselves for our characters, what we should do, la la la. So that was as much
The first season,
input.
we were there I was there to be the snotty bitch, and he was there to be the goofy dude.
Yep.
We were very clear.
That was it.
You know, what Debbie did was she made our characters deeper and more realistic. She snatched all the weaves out of my hair, even though I have one on.
Come on, girl.
Hey.
She was like, she came into the pit. She's like, "Oh, darling, where's the hot sauce?"
Yeah.
She made it because she went to Howard.
Yeah.
And what is the difference of going to a black college or, you know, a big university?
Right.
Because you are loved, you are nurtured, you are part of a neighborhood. They don't want you to fail. They're not going to let you fail.
Right.
And that came through in the way she worked with us, you know, and she gave us a voice. We couldn't give notes that first year.
No.
We were just worried about it. Are they going to call us back? They were firing people.
Left and right.
But
Yeah, I
also,
was gonna ask
also
how
the show,
difficult-
wait a minute, also the show shifted though, because wasn't the show centered around Lisa Bonet the first season, but then she didn't come back with the second season. So I'm sure that made all of y'all have to be the stars now, basically.
Yeah, well, I thought that the show just wasn't going to come back because she is and was the star of that show, you know, and our characters, at least mine, was based on her.
Revolved around her universe.
You know, who am I going to contrast or you know, how is Whitley going to be funny by herself? She was the Mary Tyler Moore. You know what I mean? And I didn't understand that structural change in putting us together when we really didn't have even that much to do.
No.
But we knew each other. And I said, you know, first of all, I'm like his big sister. So it felt a little incestuous.
Although he did say,
You know what I mean?
he did say he had a
Nasty.
crush on you,
You
back
don't have
then
to,
when he
Angela.
first met you.
You don't have to.
You know, I was young, I was grown. My men were like 30 years old. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what
She wasn't checking for me.
You know, I didn't see that as a possibility.
Yeah, no.
But the thing was, we were friends, and we did have good communication.
We could talk.
I had better communication with him than most of my relationships.
Yeah.
There's no pressure.
honest.
Right.
Yeah, it's honest.
Right.
Word up.
And we've been finding out
He
all
tell
these
you the bad, he
secrets
tell
from
you the
behind
good.
scenes.
That's
But he
right.
tell you with love.
life.
That's right. That's right.
I was going to ask, was it difficult to stay on TV? Because at the time, there was nothing like this on television. Nothing about HBCUs, nothing about colleges. Was it difficult to stay on television?
I thought the first season was difficult. I really took the job expecting maybe we'd get 6 or 8 episodes and then they
And
would
go
cancel.
back to New
And
York.
go back to New York
Wow.
and become a movie star.
And where was it? It was shot in L.A.?
Yeah, they shot in L.A.
Wow.
Yeah.
Y'all made me feel like y'all shot it in Virginia on campus. Like, I've never in a million years would have thought.
Yeah.
LA.
Now all the exteriors were
Yes.
in Atlanta
Spelman,
and at
right?
Spelman and Morehouse.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Yep.
yeah, we were just in a studio in LA, and we weren't near the Cosby Show, which was filming in Silver Cup.
Yeah.
So that was a disconnection too,
Yeah.
because Californians, they never heard of HBCUs. Now I grew up across the street from Morehouse. I'm from Atlanta, so it was as right as rain to me. I didn't realize that black people, nobody knew about black colleges.
No, I
in New York.
didn't.
Not in New
Not
York.
on
Yeah.
that side of
Yeah,
the country.
I didn't
New
know.
York either.
Nope. Yep. I never heard of it.
And neither one of us have gone to college.
Right.
Oh, I was going to ask, did either of y'all actually attend an HBCU in real life?
I barely got out of high school.
Wow.
I had to do summer school and all of that.
Well, it worked out.
Damn, summer school.
Yeah, I had to go to summer school on 14th Street. Like there was not 14th, 17th Street. There was a little school that when you was messing up in your high school, they send you down there to summer and you had to fuck around.
But you came out okay.
Why did the show end though? I never
They go to
understood why,
prison.
and it had so
Oh, I
much
remember
impact.
that.
Why
And
did
in '93, y'all went on hiatus, and it just never came back. I was like, what?
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah,
man.
I think it was. I think once we had Jesse on, we were doing a lot of controversial stuff, and I think
The riot show and
yeah, there was some stuff that maybe the network wasn't as thrilled about.
Gotcha.
It was a lot of battles back and forth with Debbie and trying to, make it current and relevant. And it was like, yeah, let's just have the the romance and the chase and that
Every
kind of stuff.
every deep show that we did, she fought
It was
for.
a battle.
Wow.
It was a battle with the network. Them white boys did not care about date rape, apartheid,
HIV.
riot,
Yeah,
HIV. Okay,
Apartheid,
they were like, just put Whitley and Dwayne and be funny.
Wow.
I did hazing too. Hazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So y'all didn't even see it coming then?
I saw it coming.
Okay.
We saw it coming
And I
because,
was-
you treating us like monkeys and we not monkeys.
Hey.
Yeah.
We're not doing your word, we're doing our word.
Yeah.
And the power that we had, they diminished.
Mm-hmm.
I felt diminished because they always said, but you come between Cosby and Cheers. I said, but people can change the channel.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't have to watch this show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did
So
you-
it was hard.
I just felt like we were always on our own. I never felt a part of that Hollywood system. Like, I would watch Roseanne Barr getting... Can I curse on
Yes,
this?
please, Miss
Oh,
Guy.
I was like, is this cable?
It can be whatever you want it to
So
be.
stupid.
Okay.
But, I would see people that were like the way we were, an ensemble company with actors and we would never get nothing.
Nope.
They'll have Roseanne Barr singing the anthem at a Padre game, and we got 5 singers in our cast.
Wow.
And we number 2.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow.
So I always felt the exclusion. I always felt it. And I never felt a part of that whole, you get Emmys and awards.
Y'all never got nominated or nothing?
Never
No.
invited to the show.
Wow.
Like never like
That
come
is
on and
crazy.
present a joint or just be in the crowd and let us shoot the cast.
That's okay.
Your word up.
You
I was
can't
like,
put too much clout into that shit anyway.
I agree with you.
'Cause I felt like we were
You
always
can't
an
put
event
too
every
much in
time
the
the show came
praise.
on.
Yeah.
So you
At
can't
home.
put too much in the criticism. You got to know who you are and where you belong. And that was my family. That was my company. But, they used to ask me to do stuff for NBC, like parades and shit, and say happy birthday to Cheers. I say, why am I saying happy birthday to them? They don't even have no black people on their show. I'm getting paid for what? Stage 29.
Word.
Were
Yeah.
y'all ever stuck that you scared that y'all gonna be stuck in character, like that everybody always looked at you as Dwayne, or
100%.
always looked at you as Whitley? Were y'all ever scared of that?
Like getting typecast.
That typecast, yeah.
100%. Like I knew that as soon as it was over, well, I thought that I should have did 4 years and graduated and maybe a 5th year to transition into new cast members, new freshmen, and then they should have did 4, 5 and transit. So in my eyes, the show should have never ended. It should still be on now. Not reruns.
Oh yeah, because it could be like how it could be like Grownish could have been different world. Yeah.
It could just always go on because there'll always be kids in college and there'll always be something to talk about.
Yeah.
Right, like Whitley graduates, but you're still there, and then people are coming in underneath you, and then
And
you
she has to-
graduate, and then the people you introduce.
It just seemed like a perfect vehicle to to showcase black talent.
What Envy said about typecasting is true, but also, man, that late 80s, early 90s fame was so big that we know y'all real names.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't just know y'all characters. I know that's Jasmine Guy and Kadeem Hardison.
Yeah.
I think that means something, too.
Yeah.
What about Marissa Tomei, right, as the one white character on the show?
Yeah.
Was that something that you feel like they said, we got to put a white person, on the show? Or
Well, we came on after that,
Yeah.
and I never understood it not being addressed. And I actually wrote an episode. This is how naive I was. I thought I could be on a show and just write an episode. I was like, well, I can write this shit. And I brought it to Susan, and it was addressing the fact that, she goes to a dance, and she asked this boy to, dance with her, and he was like, I ain't dancing with no white girl. You trying to, and it blew her away. She comes back and she says, I never thought about it. She said, well, why'd you come to Hellman? Because they have the best journalism department in Virginia. Mm-hmm. And they told me they're not addressing the white person at the black school issue.
Yeah.
Wow.
Why? I mean, you know, so interesting.
I don't know
and
why,
that's
because
funny.
it was so obvious.
But
Like,
it's the weirdest thing to this day. When I went to
It's-
Hampton and it was white kids walking around campus, it was just weird. It was like, you know, I wanted to be like, why? But they were on a road
There's white
team.
kids at HBCUs.
They
though.
got scholarships, so they went. It was just always weird.
It would be interesting to see what that experience for them was like, though, like you said, to your point.
Way more interesting. than
especially
us
when we
taking care of
carrying
the
eggs around.
Take care.
Carrying eggs around like they babies. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
Are we getting ready to drink?
Yeah, we are celebrating, y'all. You see, we got the balloons in the back that say
yeah.
Hillman. I'm sorry. I'm embarrassed by the champagne they got, but well, we not on no damn budget. You should have got your
I like
expensive
this
and
Hillman.
pay open this envy.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
Look at
yes.
it.
So Envy really went to
I
Hampton.
really went to Hampton. That's
Yeah.
why that says Hampton up there.
Yeah.
I really went to Hampton. Graduated.
We got-
Hillman up there.
You
for
know,
y'all.
flowers for you.
look at
Oh my
that.
There
goodness!
you go.
Thank you, Charlamagne.
Kadeem, my brother,
Right on,
flowers
bro.
for you.
That's so
Thank you,
awesome.
bro.
You gotta give people their flowers, right?
Yeah, while they
So why not give them to them literally?
Absolutely.
you.
My flowers.
What
That
kind of
is
champagne
so
is that?
nice.
I'm very embarrassed by the champagne. I'm sorry. I can't believe they would do that.
Well, let me try it. I'll let you know.
So Jasmine, back to you though.
I'll
When
hold-
you said
I'll
you
put
wrote
it-
that episode, you also directed some episodes, right? Did you direct episodes too, Kadeem?
Yeah,
Or-
yeah.
Okay.
I directed fall out my chair. The Tupac episode.
Wow.
I directed another one too. I can't remember which one.
It was violent.
Cats in the Cradle. No, that was I can't remember his name. Thank you, sir.
It's okay. It's been a while. Kadeem.
Yeah.
So did they come to you, or did you guys go to them
trash,
and say
right?
we want
I
to
think
direct?
it's because I brushed my teeth.
It's trash. It's trash. Ms. Guy. It's trash, right, Ms.
No,
Guy?
I'm gonna drink it though.
Oh,
We had some good stuff in the back.
why would y'all do that?
Give her some tequila.
Ace of spades, all that.
Yeah, I
Allen
don't, it doesn't
came
need to be
And
cold.
made sure
She said it
that
doesn't need to be cold.
and
I'm sorry.
Wait,
Ms.
he's
Guy.
trying to talk.
I'm trying to.
You guys, he's trying to
I saw those bottles. I was so
drunk
embarrassed.
They're
already.
concerned about champagne.
They drunk already.
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
gonna have one
Did that.
sip. It's gonna upset my
Charlamagne,
stomach.
people had me nervous about being on this show. I was like, is he like Howard Stern? Like, what is the problem?
Yeah, you was the boogeyman.
Because I have
yo.
seen you.
Thought you was the boogeyman.
I've seen you interviewed, but I hadn't seen the show. So I go on YouTube and I'm watching it, and I'm friends with Amanda Seales.
Oh, that's family,
So,
yeah.
yes, you know. And I was like, okay, what's the problem? Like, what can we talk about that's going to be so horrible?
Nothing.
Nothing.
That's all.
Oh, so
Nothing.
Kadeem, you were
Nothing
talking
at all.
about directing and Debbie
Yeah.
Allen.
So
actually-
directing, when it came to directing and writing, Debbie made us put it in our contracts that we got to direct
That's so
an
dope.
episode or two or
Wow.
write
Wow.
per season. After with the second or third season, after the third season.
How did she know that? Like, how did she know that's something that
She
y'all would want to
say
do?
The more you do, the less they can tell you can't do. Wow. That was the word she said to me. Because I was like, I don't want to direct. I just want to go do my acting and go home.
And she said to me, we'll never have this opportunity again. So you will do whatever you can while we in this position of power and choice, you know.
Yeah.
I wrote like, I don't know, three or four episodes. He's directed, Glenn Turman directed. You know, she was an advocate for
Do more.
use this opportunity.
Yep.
So the next time we're not beholden, you know. And it was great crossing that barrier of from actor to the writer's room and hearing how they really talk about us.
This is how they
I was
feel
like,
about
oh
you.
my God, are you kidding me?
Did you have to check people? Did you have to check people in the writers' room?
Oh, I didn't say anything in the writer's room. I just listened because it was 12 of them, but I hadn't seen that process because that all happened before
closed
we get
doors.
our notes,
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
And well, it was my script that I had written, so I had to be in the writer's room, and that was the first time I saw them imitate us.
Wow, I didn't
Yeah.
get to see that.
Yeah. And say, oh no, you know, don't give her that. That's a waste. Oh, I was like, oh.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah,
But
behind the curtain.
it was good, you know, and
Absolutely.
it was good that I was in there because every artist has to understand what the other artists do. You have to have respect for what he does, what she does. You know, just because you're in front of the camera doesn't mean that's it.
Yeah.
You know? And I knew that I didn't create this character. I didn't write these words. I don't know how to speak French. You know, whatever was going on, I didn't dress myself. I didn't do my hair and makeup. So I was always aware of the illusion that's created by a team of people.
Wow.
But I also come from theater.
Right.
How much?
You know that. You know that when you're on stage, you're not the only one making all that happen.
Right.
How much of Whitley Gilbert was really you?
I didn't have. I know what wasn't me because of the way I was raised. I know politically, I had a lot of issues with what I had to say, but I knew that there was somebody on this show that was going to say the right thing. When you're the only black person in a white cast, you have to say all the right things. But when I was Whitley, and I have him and Charlie and Creed and Daryl, you know, I was like, well, somebody, because this, what I'm about to say, when I said to Charnel, Kimberly Reese, it was an apartheid show, and she was going to give up her scholarship because they were divesting. Yeah. I said, but I only know you. I don't even know those people.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and then my first scene with Lisa Bonet in the room, she's like, "Are you saying you parked in the handicap?" I said, "Why should I be punished because I can walk?" I was like, "Oh, this bitch." As long as it's funny. But no, the balance was that in the show,
right.
You know, I'd have it out with him, I'd have it out with somebody that would challenge that thought. So I had the freedom to really go there with her.
Wrong. And
Whereas
loud.
usually with acting, I'm always like, ooh, I'm not gonna, you know. But with Whitley, I said we're just gonna let her go.
Because that show.
Y'all had money for wardrobe too. I was gonna say that because your wardrobes was always fly.
Yeah.
So they invested some money in your wardrobe.
Yeah.
Second
absolutely.
season, you
Second
watch what I wore in the first season.
Yeah. Whitley wasn't well off. It didn't appear she was well off.
No, the wardrobe went to Lisa Bonet.
Yeah.
As it should.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think the wardrobe spoke to those characters too, because Ceci did a great job knowing who these people were. So it's one person doing all seven of us, you know, from the bright colors to the, you know, I don't know. Do you wear suits when you go to class? I always felt like Whitley was overdressed.
In business, you had to. Business attire. If you're in the business department, you have to wear a jacket.
Oh, okay.
And then what about the infamous glasses?
The infamous glasses came from our first year executive producer, Ann Beats, passed away.
God bless her.
Yeah. She went to two nights before we shot my first episode. She went to a Bowie concert, and I think his bassist or his drummer had him on. And she came to me 2 days before, and she was like, "Hey, I saw these. They look kind of cool. Would you want to wear them?" And at the time, I thought, this shit is so corny. Give me some glasses and a hat and a hood. Any way that I can hide myself and not be so recognized, I'll take it. Anything. So yeah, I donned them quick. I was like, yeah, sure, bang. Got any hats? Got any? I was in charge of the sneakers. You know, I mean, I made sure that I chose the footwear, but I let the wardrobe people do wardrobe until it got down to the feet, and then I was like, nah, I'll bring them some stuff.
And the 80s was really bright.
Yeah.
I just remember shoulder pads and bright colors. Cross colors.
Stripes, the polo rugby.
Everything was bright.
Yes.
Those glasses, I remember.
Those
looking
glasses
for
are
those glasses,
awesome.
you couldn't
Everybody.
find
I think I
them.
had a pair.
Yeah, most people.
And now they're known as the Wayne glasses.
Yes.
Even when you see Jazzy Jeff with them on, those are the Wayne glasses. No matter who wear them, even to this day, those are the Wayne glasses.
So Dwayne Wade wearing them, and they believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Dwayne Wade. I seen him too.
I seen him wearing them. Yep.
Now, what are y'all thoughts on shows that represent black culture on TV today?
I enjoy particularly Atlanta. It's probably, you know, my favorite show because it's just so weird and it's so different. It's so out there that it's one of the regrets now is that I didn't get a chance to do an episode of Atlanta. Like I called my agent as soon as I heard Don was doing a show on FX and was like, hey bro, get me in. Like I'll pull cables, whatever they need over there. I'll run camera, whatever. I just want to be a part of this because I think it's gonna be special. And damn it, they're ending, and I didn't get on it.
Oh man!
So that's my favorite one. I enjoyed Blackish in their run, and I've done a few episodes of Grownish, and I like what they're doing. Although it's not HBCU, it's not the same, but it's still focusing on some black kids in college, you know, promoting education, which I think is, you know, can't be done enough.
That whole formula, that whole blueprint was Cosby in Different World.
Absolutely.
Blackish, Grownish, guaranteed.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I like Shy, and I like Insecure.
Yes.
And I am so excited when I watch these shows because we would always have ideas, but it was not the time. I pitched a lot of ideas. I had a production company, and just to be able to see our voice and the textures of our culture, and that the producers are black and that they are women, is that makes me feel good.
Absolutely. Salute to Lena Wave too. She loves y'all. Her whole production company is called Hillman Productions. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask. You mentioned the Tupac episode. I know both of you guys were close with Tupac or cool with Tupac. So how did those relationships happen?
For me, I was just directing them that week. Jasmine.
That's the better one.
Oh, see, there you go.
That's the better one.
I think that's
That's 50s. 50s.
Okay, cool. All right.
They
to
pop
upgrade.
some real shit.
Thank you.
I'll throw that other shit out, Miss Guy.
Okay,
Don't worry
I
about
don't know. Cold duck. I don't know what the fuck that is.
That cold duck.
Come on, Whitley.
That Merlot.
I'm not really a champagne person.
We upgrade a little bit.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I just got to direct them. I was fortunate, you know. Jada said he wanted to do this show, and he was excited. And I know I'm friends with many MCs, rappers, and I know how they can fuck off sometime. So I was real nervous. Like, this is my first week directing. I was like, is he gonna show? Like, because I've messed around trying to do a video with Dirty, and he never showed. Yeah.
Was that Got Your Money? Or,
Yes.
I remember that because
Yes.
and then actually because I was working with them at the time, he actually came and did a video that he was on for Jizza, and they wouldn't let it come out. The label wouldn't clear Dirty because he didn't show up to his own video.
Yes.
Damn.
I was down there waiting 6-7 hours. They asked me to be on. I was like, of course, I love,
That's why when you see that video, they don't really show his face. It's just like a
big wig and So I was just nervous as my first directing gig, just like, okay, I just hope and once he came, I always thought, it's not a hot take, but I always thought he was probably going to be a better actor.
The rapper?
Than rapper. Yeah, I didn't, music is subjective, like blah, blah, blah. You like it or you don't, or it fits where you are in that time of your life. He scared me as an actor. I was like, this dude can reach places that I can't even imagine.
His eyes. You know how they always talk about actors, you can see what they can do by looking in their eyes?
Yeah.
Like, Pac had them eyes.
Look at him go.
Jasmine, aren't you working on a documentary?
Yes, they're doing a movie about his mother, and I wrote the book Evolution of a Revolutionary about Afeni. It's just interesting. If you stay here long enough, you'll see how interesting life is. Because when I wrote that book, 20 years ago, whatever, it was really to empower Afeni. Because I felt like, how when somebody do good in your family and then they bring the whole family with them, and I just saw this boy at 21, like, with all these people. Like, what are you doing? How come you ain't working? Why ain't you in school? I was just so middle class, okay, when I met the Shakur Cox family. And I would just talk to them one-on-one and just try to find out where they were, because I didn't I mean, if I had gotten a different world and my whole family was dependent on me to, you know what I mean? I never knew that pressure. And when I talked to Afeni, first of all, I always wanted to tell the story of a female Panther because I feel like all the movies that I've seen have been biased. I mean, because they don't tell the truth about the I know you were in one. So
It's okay.
I'm not trying, you know, yeah, but how macho and how, you know, sexist
Misogyny,
it was.
yeah.
Yeah, the misogyny was rampant.
That was the era too, though. Like that whole era was misogynistic, chauvinistic.
I'm just saying it hasn't been told.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, and I thought, well, can we tell a Sada Shakur story? Can we, you know, do an Angela Davis? Can we do Kathleen Cleaver? And when I met Tupac, I didn't want to say, oh, I can't wait to meet your mama. You know, so I didn't.
Yeah.
But I didn't really realize her story because it was all in newspaper. There wasn't any linear story about her. Anyway, I started talking to her about telling her story and doing speaking engagements on her own right. She's highly intelligent, and I don't know. That's how it started. I ended up writing the book because she didn't want to talk to nobody else. I mean, after we had done all those interviews and stuff, she was like, then there was a lot going on with Tupac. And when I met him 4 months before he was shot. Then he healed. Then he went to jail. Then he came out. Then he got shot again. You know what I mean? And so I just put it on the back burner. But Afeni's story is incredible, and she wanted to talk more about her life than the Panther movement, because that's like from 19 to 21. She wanted to talk about crack. She wanted to talk about her recovery. She wanted to talk about, you know, raising her 2 kids, and, you know, I don't know. So
I wanted to ask y'all, man, you know, I often feel spoiled because I'm 44, so, you know, like in the mid-'80s, we saw black sitcoms like The Jeffersons and Different Strokes, but then, you know, the Cosbys came and 227s and Different Worlds, but I feel like all of that just came to a abrupt end, like towards the end of the 90s. Number one, do you think that was the renaissance for black TV? And do you think there was something bigger at play to stop all of those positive images of black people on TV?
It only seems now, like if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck. I don't have any evidence to support it except for the optics.
Word.
So yeah, I do think it was.
Okay.
Come on with it.
Go, Miss Guy.
Right.
Come on with it.
Our last season. Number 2, number 1 sometimes.
Yep.
Cosby in Different World.
For 5, 6, 7 years.
Yep.
Okay. Why would you change our time slot? And why would you put us against Martin?
Wow.
Yeah.
I definitely took that personally. You ain't got but 2 black shows on the networks, and you put us at the same time against each other. And what have we done? What have we done to deserve this kind of disservice? You know, we're not competing with Martin.
No.
We come on at 8:30, they come on at 8. Why did you move us? That was a detriment.
Was that because Cosby Show ended? And didn't they put y'all up at 8 because Cosby was the lead in?
Yep.
Okay. So that could have been it.
Why
Just
change
playing
our
white
time
devil's
slot?
advocate.
Just put another 8 o'clock show in.
It probably wasn't even strong enough.
We weren't strong enough to hold another time slot, and not against Martin.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like we have the same audience, and so what do white people do? Divide.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
You got 2 hit shows. Let's put them on at the same time. They don't do that to their own shows. So yes, I do feel like it was deliberate. I feel like it was racist. I know who was running NBC at the time, and I don't feel we were respected.
Because I feel like,
I feel like they always said y'all came between Cosby and Cheers, and that's why you're number 2. They said that to my
They
face.
said it to mine. You can't have no more money.
I did Dennis.
Dennis Miller.
Yes.
So what was Cheers? Was Cheers 3? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
They were 3.
Got you. So they thought it was because of the network that these shows were having all the success.
Because of the time slot.
The
because
time slot.
between
Got
1
you,
and
got
3, we got to be 2.
Got you.
Not
Got
that
you.
Because we
holding
between
it
1
down.
and 3,
Yeah.
which is fine.
Right.
I really don't care.
Yeah.
But that you make that a point. That I come on a nighttime talk show with Joan Rivers or Dennis Miller, and that's the first thing out your mouth. Well, how does it feel to be between Cosby and Cheers? And sometimes I didn't know how to answer it. And Dennis Miller even said to me, that was a horrible lead. Yes.
What?
Because you fucking insulted me and you acting like I'm the shit. Which one am I? What am I doing?
Because if the show wasn't good, it would have ruined the meeting.
Right.
People would have turned off right after
Right.
the Cosby Show and
Yep.
not watched that or Cheers.
Did they pay y'all like y'all were 1 and 2? Did y'all get paid or did y'all have to fight for that?
We
Did
had
they
to
pay y'all
fight
like
for
they paid
that.
Oh, we had to fight.
fight for that.
Yeah.
I went and did White Man Can't Jump.
Can I have another champagne?
Here we go.
Give us some of the good stuff.
I went and did White Man
Not
Can't
the
Jump
cold duck.
and met
No more cold duck.
and met Woody Harrelson and he was doing Cheers, and they had a way bigger ensemble, and he kind of let me in on what he was making. I was like,
And y'all number 3.
what?
Damn.
I know. That's when it hurts.
What?
It's when we talk to other people.
Yeah, word up. What? We went out into the field and found out that Cheers they was getting. I was like, how? He had an assistant. He had all kind of shit going on. I was like, where you get all
And
this?
they
like
treated
that?
you like you just came off the bike in New York.
Yeah.
But I'm confused about that because you had Bill Cosby who already had so much success. Why wouldn't he give that game to the spinoff show, the cast of the spinoff show?
He purposely had us shoot in California away from him. I don't think he wanted to have to shoulder it.
Run two shows.
Yeah. He was running this. This was it. Boom, y'all go over here and work that out. And then when it wasn't working to the way I think we all wanted, he called with Debbie and said, Miss Thang, get in there with your broom and clean that shit up.
It
So
seemed
that-
like she was a blessing, though.
Absolutely.
You know?
No, she was the best thing that could have happened to us.
So they didn't want to pay y'all
Jasmine,
like
That show was dead.
Yeah.
That show was
I
dead.
thought it was gonna get canceled. I really
until,
thought it was
Debbie
gonna get
came on
canceled.
that show.
Yeah.
And Susan Fales.
Yeah.
I mean, we had brilliant women running that show, turning that around, fighting against the network, fighting for, she said, we're the dark-skinned people at this school.
Yeah.
We're the brown people.
Yeah.
You can't. I don't know. I just thought that first season, I already had called my parents. I was like, well, I've made $30,000 and I paid off Greg and I'm paying off my Amex and I'm going back to my apartment because I thought that shit was booty.
So what's the most that you guys got paid during that time when y'all were number 1 and number 2? What was the most that they paid y'all?
Can we say, Jazz?
It's 30 years ago.
I thought I saw you say that somewhere. I thought I saw you. I think you was with Ryan Cameron, or I saw you say it somewhere, Miss Guy.
You know Ryan?
Yeah, radio legend. Yeah,
Of course.
yeah.
I like you radio people.
I saw you say that somewhere. How much y'all made? It was like,
It's like
Well, the first season I made $6,000 a week.
Yeah.
6,000. Then next
But
thing
I
you know,
didn't.
it was,
I mean, I was like,
yeah, that was a
what?
that was a bump.
I was
That
making
was a
like $250 at the Village game.
Word up. I was a bike
my
messenger,
God.
so
I mean,
yeah.
So I
yeah.
didn't have any
Complaints.
gauge.
No, yeah.
I had done when I did Broadway as an ensemble member. I made $800 a week. That was a lot of money. When I did Fame, the TV show, I was making $750 a week. And when I danced with Ailey's, I made $75 a week.
Woo.
That's why I right. You know.
Yeah, $6,000 a week. That'd be a lot. Yeah,
$6,000, yeah.
I just thought, but we only had contracts for 7 episodes.
Yeah, you didn't know how long
Yeah.
it was gonna last.
Yeah.
Oh no, and they were firing
and
people.
you had to sign
Oh,
for
yeah.
6 years
Oh, yeah.
before you
That's
finish
still the
your
standard,
audition.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
know, but I went into the producers and I tried to give my 2-week notice.
That's right. She tried to.
You tried to quit?
give
You quit
2
after the
weeks
first season?
notice.
I said I'm very grateful for this opportunity.
Child.
And because that first season, I'm telling you,
Yeah,
it was whack, and I didn't like the way they were treating Lisa Bonet.
Yeah. No.
And they said, "Well, had so and so said anything to you?" I said, "You disrespect her in front of the audience, in front of me. You disrespected me too.
How did they used to disrespect her?
Just do it. Just
Ooh,
say
the way
it.
they would talk.
Pointing all up in her face, and you know, I'm like, that's a sweet girl because you're not getting up on me like that." And you know, we've dealt with bitches. I mean, we from New York as far as choreographers and directors and whatnot. But
Yeah.
I was like, you know, I didn't interfere on set, but I was like, oh no. Oh no, you're not treating her like that. She had to hire security.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's why she quit, probably.
Nah, because wanted her to be on.
Because she was pregnant.
He didn't want to show black girl pregnant in college.
What do you
could
think
have
about
been-
that?
I thought it would have been a great tool and something to it could inspire because it was all inspiring. So
Right.
why not? You know,
Yeah.
because that's a real thing.
You can
So
still
why-
go get your education.
Absolutely.
I've heard so many rumors that I don't know what comes from. I've heard that he wanted to incorporate it on the show, on our show. I've also heard that Jesse wanted to have a single mom because he's from a single mom that went through school. And then I've also heard that that it was a network that didn't want to incorporate her wholesome
Right.
whatever.
Right.
But first of all, it would have given her something to play.
Absolutely.
Because I felt like they were always looking for Denise Huxtable. You're not using the meat that she comes from.
Yep.
You don't know what you're looking at. Because you haven't seen a little black girl like this before. And to give her a baby,
There you go. Something to do.
and it would have helped the Jaleesa character.
Absolutely. Right. Yep.
And then your ass would have been, she wouldn't have been messing with you.
You gotta go back to when you
You
quit.
have to
was
go
his.
with Ridley.
You gotta go back. So when, you gotta go back to when you quit. So you quit.
Yeah,
and then what
she
did they say
gave
back
her
to
a
you?
2-week notice.
They didn't tell me They didn't tell me that I couldn't quit.
You couldn't quit.
And I
Wow.
couldn't quit.
She
I was
signed a
7 years.
7-year contract.
I didn't know,
got you.
but you know,
So they just smiled and said, "Come back tomorrow."
no. see you in the morning.
Yeah, right. Okay, thank
Well,
you for this little
But
lovely note.
I had grievances. So as I was quitting, I was also expressing my grievances, and they listened to those.
Cool
and then
story, bro.
They asked me if I had any insight to such and such. I said, no, not really. Like, I just want to go back to New York and get another job.
Right.
Is West Side Story on tour?
Y'all got to tell us how y'all got more money, too, though. How'd y'all end up getting more money? After the conversation with Woody Harrelson?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
it was holdout time for me. It was
We held out.
yeah, I'm
Did y'all
not
do it
Oh.
together as a team, or y'all did separately?
No,
Yeah.
we should have done it together, but we did it separately.
Yeah.
Sometimes I was the last one, and it was like the reading and all this drama, and I'm like, why do I have to do this? It's very degrading. It's very degrading, and then you know other actors that aren't going through that bullshit. I'm like, yeah.
I remember sitting at home playing sick. Like, I'm sorry, Debbie. I can't. I'm not gonna make
Hey,
it.
you was faking COVID all those years ago?
I'm not gonna be able to come in today.
The monkey flew before the monkey came in.
Yeah, I was like, I said, and I think Jasmine is sick too. And she said, "Darling, Jasmine is here."
Yep.
And I was like,
Like, damn it.
Yeah.
You didn't have cell phones.
We should have coordinated.
what? And had to get in my car and drive to work late. Like, yeah, I'm better now.
But y'all eventually got the money, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, got some.
We got the money. I mean,
I got what Woody was making when I talked to him. We ended up there.
Kadeem, was your mom in the business at this point?
She was my manager.
She was okay. So all this time she was managing you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I taught her, she says, not me, the power of no. You know, she was like, I think you should go back in. I was like, no, not for that. Not for this.
okay, Beth Ann. Because Beth Ann is fierce, okay?
Yeah, your mom is a legend.
If you taught
in her
her
own right.
something,
Yeah.
that's fierce.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was, she'll say that right there. I learned about the power of no, and you knew your worth and wouldn't go in and take less than this. And I was kind of like, we got a contract. I don't know how we're going to get out. Like, Jasmine tried to quit.
It's not
She
working.
wrote her 2-week notice.
You had to get fired, I guess.
Yeah, right. That's
the
the
only
only
way you could-
Yeah.
No, they can fire you.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You would have had to get fired.
Yeah.
So
You
yeah,
know,
It's like someone breaking up with you.
right.
You have to make them break up with you.
Yeah, you got to be a bad guy so that
But
they go,
yo,
get out.
I'm gonna have a call back and they give me a paper, like a contract like this, right? I'm just signing it. I look at how much I'm gonna make, that $6,000, right? I was like, ooh, you know, and I haven't gotten the job yet.
Right.
Right.
This is the other
audition.
thing.
Yeah.
It's my callback.
Yes.
So they put me in one room and this other girl in another room. And they said, one of you are going home and one of you are going to
Damn.
the reading.
Yes, a table read.
You remember
The
who the other
table
girl
read.
I
was?
was gonna say, who's the other girl?
I am not calling that girl's name out. Of course I remember her.
She's still around?
I don't know.
Oh,
Did she do
okay.
anything big in the movie world?
TV world?
I don't know.
Okay. I want to ask y'all about.
I'm blind.
I'm blind. I'm legally blind. I want to ask y'all about black love, right? Because Dwayne and Whitley set the tone for black love for what seems like
Oh, I
a
thought
whole
you meant the
generation.
show.
No,
Oh.
y'all too.
Have you seen the show?
Yes.
Black Love?
Envy was on it.
Oh, yeah, Envy was on it.
I was
Yeah,
on
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Me and my
yeah,
wife was
yeah.
on it.
Yep.
You were?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna watch. Ma'am, I didn't see it.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
and the wife were on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that show.
Hey, see, same joint. Yeah.
27
Oh, I
years.
wish I had seen that show before I got married.
But see, I want to ask about that though. Like, did playing those roles of Dwayne and Whitley teach y'all anything about your own relationships outside of the show?
Wow,
Ooh wee.
good question, Charlamagne.
Thank you.
There was some crossover
Mhm.
because I was having sometimes I was having a better relationship that was scripted than in my real life.
Wow.
And other times I didn't know how to negotiate real life. Like, it was one thing to be able to play something that someone tells you to do, and you know, and he's easy to love and easy to work with. But I don't know. I feel like I was a bit of a mess in my real relationship. But I often talk to him
Mhm.
because I didn't understand the language.
Mhm.
I didn't understand ultimatums and men speak, and I don't know. And you know, I got famous during the relationship too,
Mhm.
Right.
and I felt like he was good with me as a dancer in the ensemble, but not so good with me.
Being a star,
Out in front
real
of the
star.
fame.
And then I again was like, well, you weren't listening to me. You didn't know who I was. You know, you don't know if somebody gets famous or not, but certainly you knew that I was talented. Certainly there's a possibility. And you can't handle that?
Mm.
What am I supposed to do with that? First of all, I have a daddy. And I have friends, male friends. You're not, the only
end all.
male figure in my life.
Mhm.
And if you're not happy, you should leave.
Mm.
Feels
It's
like
not-
insecurities.
So,
Absolutely.
and then I'm playing Whitley, who's younger than me. I mean, her age is in her 20s, and I'm in my 30s, you know? And okay, for example, I'll just say this. When we got married, when Dwayne and Whitley got married, I was breaking up with my boyfriend of 5 years.
Wow.
And the irony of that was like, people were coming up to me talking about,
Congratulations.
how do you feel? Are you nervous? I said, I'm not any more nervous than I have been for the last 6 fucking years on this show.
Yeah. You didn't
Why am I
realize
nervous today?
because you get
I
married.
said, you do understand
He was acting.
that I'm not really getting married. That this ain't the dress. Right?
Yeah.
The producer, everybody's like, oh my God, are you nervous?
You're like,
No.
Let's go already.
And you never tried
mean-
to really holler at her when she lost her man and y'all was so close and so tight. You never crossed the line.
Nah,
That one
I
time.
was in love with
Cree Summer. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were best friends. That would look.
Yeah, that was like, come on now.
He's not. Yeah,
So
he's a nice guy.
how did it impact you off the air? Like having that that
Yeah, it was strange. It was like it was too much fun to pretend to be in love with Jazz.
yeah.
It was too much of a joy. The relationships off screen, it was Cree pretty much most of the time we worked, and then we broke up, and as she was breaking up with me, giving me the ring back, and was getting ready to run off and mess with Joe Morton's character, Cree and I had kind of broke up.
Damn. What if they'd have written to the script that now you and Cree's characters got to be together after y'all breaking up?
She was with Gary Dordan.
Yeah,
She was
yeah.
with Shazam.
Shazam.
Yeah.
I was like, God damn, they gave you a fine motherfucker to be with. Oh my God.
I was like one of the first Woke brothers on TV.
Yeah.
Shazam.
Yeah. So the only difficulty and the whole thing for me was having to go to work and having your ex kind of be there.
Yeah.
And
I think people think that we bleed in and out of reality and our truth, because I never thought about none of that.
Right.
I never thought about, now I'm Jasmine, now I'm Whitley, now I'm that. I don't even think about that. Okay, who I need to be right now, boom. And my real life is more important to me than any of these bitches I play. Okay? So when people feed into this fantasy, like, oh, he's with Cree, so I'm not gonna talk to. That don't happen. When we off camera, we off camera.
Right.
When we on camera, let me tell you, everybody on that show was good.
yeah, real good.
That's the key too.
That's right.
Real good.
Yeah.
Darryl Bell, Lou Myers, Glenn Turman,
Charnel.
Patty LaBelle,
Yep.
Charnel. You know what I mean? We were not passing the ball to other amateurs.
That's right. Y'all was the
Bad.
90s Bulls. Like,
Yeah,
word.
That's right.
Word up.
They got
We
5
worked
minutes before they gotta
together
go
too,
too,
and we
guys.
talked. And I don't think actors, sometimes they so uptight that they don't want to talk and they don't want to get notes from other people or whatever. But okay, let me tell you one thing that Kadeem told me. I was in makeup, and I was in the middle of doing this scene with Joe Morton. First of all, he was pissed because I had a rule with him that we don't kiss until it's time to film, time to tape. You don't need to kiss him all week. I mean, you don't have to practice no kiss, right?
That's right.
And so Joe Morton comes on and he kisses me for real in rehearsal, but I was taken aback, because he said, I know you ain't just let Joe Morton sticking his tongue down you. I said, I didn't know what to say. Like he's a guest, right? And then we're filming it. It's like a Thursday, and you pop in, I'm in makeup, and I say, something's wrong with this scene. There's, I don't know, it wasn't, he said, y'all need to go to the laboratory and get some chemistry.
Wow.
And I looked at him like, damn.
The petty Hardison right there.
Yeah. He was like,
Yeah, you let the motherfucker kiss you. Hey, good luck with
he
that
was
shit.
like, work on it. You ain't got no chemistry. That's what's wrong. I said,
And I'm out.
oh, I thought it was gonna give me a no. Like, if you say it like this, if you sit on his lap, no. He was like, y'all need to go to the laboratory and get some chemistry.
Did y'all have instant chemistry, or did y'all have to like spend time together offset to build that up?
I think the chemistry
I
between
think we had chemistry.
actor was instant, but to really make the love story true, it was work because I was ultra respectful of Dominic, her relationship, and Cree, my relationship.
Right.
So I wasn't really trying to, go for it.
Yeah.
And she came one day after rehearsal, kind of like she could have with Joe, but didn't, and said, "This scene isn't working, honey. When I come in the room, you have to act like you like me." And I was being ultra respectful, trying to keep everything out in front, and I didn't understand. And she said, "Okay, hold on. You be me, and I'm gonna be you." So then I played Whitley for that little scene, and she played Dwayne. And she came into the room with a whole different energy. I was like, "Okay, so go for it." She was like, "If you're gonna be my man, if I'm gonna be your girl, then it's gotta be that way. That's the only way it's gonna work." And I was like, "You ain't gotta tell me twice." And that was it. And then from there, I think the relationship just got more real, more authentic, and connected to people on a whole nother way. I was able to touch her anyway, get in her face anyway, get mad at her and point at her anyway.
And I loved it.
Yeah, right.
And I know y'all got to go, but I got to ask this. Speaking of that, when you crashed the wedding, you looked very sincere. like that's why people feel like what we was watching was real. It was real. You know what I mean? Yeah. What did you do to motivate yourself to get into that space to do that?
I didn't agree with the whole, like we had done so many real things on the show, so many things that felt real, that from the AIDS and the apartheid and all of that, for me to crash this wedding like this felt like a complete leap. Didn't make any sense. So, and I read it 2 weeks before. It was a 2-part episode, so I knew for 2 weeks that I was gonna have to get to that place where I had to break up this wedding, and it was really hard. And one thing I gave I gave myself was as I'm coming down the aisle, there's a dude on my left. I told him, I said, "When you grab me, make sure you get a good grip on my left arm because I want to struggle and try to get away." Wow. And as soon as I felt him go to grab me, I gave him a swim move and got out of it. And that propelled me forward. So it just kind of, and then he had to re-grab me. I made him look silly, but he had to re-grab me and then pull me out. And I lost the lyrics. Like I was so nervous. No. I was so nervous about if I don't get it right the first time, it's gonna degrade. It's gonna get worse, and it's gonna get worse because I'm really having a hard time committing to all of these words.
Wow.
I don't believe it. Kadeem doesn't believe it.
Wow.
Dwayne has to believe it, so I have to kind of put myself there, and that had never been a problem before. I could always just put myself there and go for it. And now all of a sudden, I didn't buy it. So once I, was getting dragged out and lost the lyric, I panicked, and I knew that her cue was, "Will you?" I'm supposed to run down all the vowels and say, "Will you?" which is what the preacher asked. And then she said, "I do." But I got lost in the lyric and just yelled out, "Baby, please," just because I was drowning. I was like, "Fuck, we got."
So that was an ad-lib.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm just like, we're gonna have to do this again and again and again, and it's gonna get worse every time.
And it will never be like that. That was the first and only take in front of that audience. That audience lost it.
Yeah.
Were you aware that he was drowning at the time? Like, how did you?
No, I was standing there because the audience was screaming too.
Yeah.
And I was like, hold it.
I said, "Baby, please," and then the second "please" was like, "Jazz,
I knew that was jazz.
Go.
Yeah, because Please Baby Please from
Days.
School Days. Yeah, so I was like, oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, baby, help me.
And we are not doing this shit again, okay?
Debbie
Because
said, got it.
nothing was
One
like
take.
that first take.
Yeah.
Nothing.
That magic.
Yeah, Debbie
Yeah.
said.
Are you,
Debbie
are you guys
came
gonna
over
be
the.
watching
Hold on.
this
You
thing?
said Debbie came over the what?
Debbie came over the loudspeaker because the director is up in the booth. And so we can't see her directly. We can only hear her when she gives notes, or she'll give them to the stage manager and he'll come and whisper something to us. But she came over after everybody, and they calmed down. She said, got it, moving on.
Wow.
Nigga,
Yeah.
I
You're
just,
like, thank you.
What a relief.
Wow.
Because you don't want to
have to
do
do
that
that shit
again
again.
because of the emotional build that was in
Absolutely.
there. But both of us thought that shit was corny.
Oh,
You know, he complained. I didn't even know you had all that that you said to them before.
Yeah, I told them, I
I
said-
complained. I said, please don't do The Graduate. Are we doing The
Yeah.
Graduate up in here? I don't know.
I told him, I said, what I would
First
do.
of all, I felt it was disrespectful.
To-
You know, and I've spoken at Spelman, and those girls were like, you know, that wasn't a compliment
Right.
for him to come up there at the last minute the
Right.
night before you
Right.
at your mama's house. And if it had been me in my real life and you came up in my mama's house, you know, and then the next day you object, no.
Well,
It's too late.
Well, they asked the question at the wedding. They do say if anybody disagrees with this wedding, stand up and speak
Yeah,
your
right.
mind.
And coming
do
to
do that,
coming
but
to her mama's house was my idea. I told the writers, they were like, well, how can we make it better for you? How can you make it better for you? And I said, here's what I would do.
Yeah.
I would go
At
the
least
night
try.
before and say, hey, if you really feel this, like we could jump this fence and get out of here and they'll never see us and I ain't got to do all of this wildness, you know, tomorrow. So that was me saying to the writers, give me, you know, this is what I would rather do. And they was like, you can do that, but you still got to go and do this.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was like, God.
And that's why that part one is more real to me than the
Yeah, you
wedding.
opened the door.
I know.
Like, I was like, what are you
He
doing?
was like, I ain't
Oh,
never seen
shit.
her cry.
Yeah.
Because I was like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, they gotta go, guys.
Okay.
TV.
Well,
Yeah.
35 years and TV
35
One
years, a different
Uncensored.
world, man.
That's right.
Congratulations.
TV One Uncensored on Saturday.
On Saturday the 24th.
Yes.
Marathon. We'll be there yapping away in between joints, however they cut it up. We went and did a little sit down with them and just talked. And
Oh, and I'm on
reminisced.
Amazon.
There you go.
Harlem.
Tell 'em.
Harlem,
The TV
Harlem.
series.
Oh, I love that show.
Yeah, I played Grace Byers' mom.
Okay.
And I'm a Jamaican bitch, so it's funny. Okay. And then
You had to learn the patois?
yeah, I've played a Jamaican many times.
Okay.
I've been a dancehall girl too.
Okay. Hey.
know that's
I can't make my booty do one at a time. I can't do ding 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 ding. I can't do that yet.
The Whitney wine.
I
The Whitney wine.
Whitney wine.
The Whitney wine.
Whitney wine, yeah, man. And then I have a movie called The Lady Makers. It's on Amazon too. The Lady Makers.
Well, Kadeem and
You got a
Jasmine,
patois going.
we love y'all and we
Yeah, thank
value
you so
y'all
much.
and we
I feel
appreciate
stronger
y'all.
when
so
I
much.
We ain't
her.
talking no hip hop, yo.
I know. Next time. This
Next
is the last
time,
time.
please let me come back.
Please,
and talk hip hop,
absolutely.
yo.
Absolutely.
I got my
see you got the
joint
MF
on.
Doom joint on.
I see you got the tribe on. Yeah, I
today.
saw. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
we got the same watches. We got hip hop.
I have
shirts.
no idea what those things mean.
Tribe Called Quest. You know
I
Tribe
try,
Called
you
Quest.
know,
MF Doom.
Quest.
Quest.
Doom.
Oh, okay. All right.
Doom
Thank
is
you.
probably my favorite MC.
Well, it's the Breakfast Club.
Hey,
Thank
we
you guys
love
for joining us.
y'all. We value y'all. We appreciate y'all. We celebrate y'all always, man.
That's
Thank
right.
you for
Thank you,
every
thank you.
contribution to the culture that y'all have ever made, and it was a pleasure to meet both of you this
Yes,
morning.
Jasmine,
you.
guys.
Pleasure to meet you
much.
too.
So much
Envy.
fun.
Yes, it's the Breakfast
Yeah,
Club.
Angela.
Told me
I
we'd
wish
be
I was
sitting here
going
doing
back.
this.
Right?